Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope. They both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes.
Foot out jerk food. 100 racks on a surf dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out.
Hey everybody, welcome to the QuiverCast, where we chat with surfers from all around the world, from all walks of life, and we get their story. Find us at www.thequivercast.com. I am Mike, your host. Let's get into the show. All right, everybody. Hello. This is Mike here with the QuiverCast. We got a super special guest all the way from Jamaica, Ivah the Great. How are you?
I'm good. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure.
Cool. So let's just start right there. Jamaica. That's where you're surfing and that's where you're living, right?
Yeah, that is where I'm currently operating out of.
Are you planning on going somewhere else, or are you going to be there forever?
Well, the goal is to be here forever, but it's not much of an industry here for surfing. So I have to be traveling pretty often, so.
Yeah.
I never know where the world will take me next,
Is that good or bad?
It's bad, but I mean, it's a good thing at the same time because being a Jamaican surfer is like a novelty, So when you do go out in the world or the world comes here, it's like you have a level of appreciation that I feel like it misses other surfers from even like California. If you're a young surfer coming up, you might not get as much recognition as a Jamaican surfer would, even if you surf at the same level. So that's like the positive, but the lack of industry kind of, it's like a lack of opportunities locally as well. So you have kids who surf here, they surf pretty good, but, if you can't travel or link with someone internationally, then, it's like that's a negative. It's like a lot harder for us to do it here,
Wow. Yeah, totally. Well, how are the waves in Jamaica? I've never been there, so.
Well, the waves in Jamaica I think it's usually more than what people expect, because we're so surrounded by other islands, it's like we're in the middle of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So we're not really exposed to open sea like that. So, but I mean, the Caribbean Sea is enough to generate some type of swell.
Yes.
From like between Barbados and Trinidad and us, it's like enough water to like generate swell, and lots of swell gets filtered through the islands as well. So.
Okay.
We get more swell than people think, but it's just one side of the island. So if you do come to Jamaica and you go to the more touristy areas, you probably don't get to see much waves, and you probably think that there isn't any waves in Jamaica. And I think that's what usually happens is even when surfers do come to Jamaica, a lot of the time, you go to the places that, it's more touristy, white sand beaches, that kind of thing. But if you literally just go to the opposite side of the island, which is like the southeast coast, you would find like a lot more rocky beaches. It's a lot more localized, it's a lot less touristy, and the sea isn't really as welcoming. So you have more opportunities for like spots, like surf spots. So you have like a reef setup, and the beach is kind of gnarly to get out there, but once you get out there, then it's pretty nice. You have a nice long left, or whatever the case is. We have waves on the north coast as well. So the options that we have is if waves do come from the top side and filter through where Cuba is, then we'd get swell from that side, and you'd get the north coast of Jamaica have waves. And then from the southeast side, you'd have a different type of wave. So the option is like right on the north coast, left on the south coast.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the two options. So, and it's usually when one side is flat, the other side has waves. So, you have a lot more versatility as well. Mostly like cobblestone bottoms or reef. You know, we have maybe one or two like sandbar breaks, but it's not as like beach breaks aren't really as popular out here. Most of the spots you find are in front of like a river mouth or something where, you know, you can have the cobblestones set up more shallow and from the just the natural flow of the river. So like some of the best waves in Jamaica is usually there's a river close by it. So even if you just want to search for waves, it's like you find a river and you find where it's letting out into the sea. And a lot of the time there's like a small wave or, you know, something down there that you can enjoy. But even to this day, I'm finding new places to surf. Like,
Rad. That's rad.
You know, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool. Okay, I got a lot to break down there because I have some questions.
Yeah.
So there's waves on, it would be what, the east side of the island? The
southeast side.
Southeast.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, where do you live out on the island? How far
I
away?
live on the southeast side, so by Kingston, where everybody knows Kingston.
Yes.
You know, Norman Manley Airport is the airport for Kingston, and that's like 15 minutes from my house. You can just drive there pretty quickly, and there's waves all along the road leading the airport. So
Wow.
like between my house and the airport, that 15-minute stretch, or you know, like 25-minute stretch of road, you can find a lot of different spots there to surf. You know, so
Rad.
that's kind of where I grew up surfing and where I call my home breaks. You know.
Cool. Okay. So you said there's not a lot of surfers. That's a good thing or a bad thing, in your opinion?
It's a good thing because you don't get crowds and like certain things that certain stigmatized things like what you'd expect from surf cultures we don't really get exposed to that. Like the Jamaican surf culture is very contained into itself. So everything that happens and the way we go about things is not because we've gotten influence from the outside world. So it's a small community, but everybody respects each other and knows each other. So there's a level of camaraderie and brotherhood and like family.
That's
with the
cool.
surf community here. So that's like a benefit of it being small.
Yeah,
you know,
for
but
sure.
everything has positives and negatives. So
Uh-huh.
like if there was more surfers, there'll be more opportunities for a surf industry to survive, where a company could come down and say they're gonna start running products through Jamaica because they see that there's profit to be made and there's surfers there who will buy into these items. But like even growing up, I'd get sponsored here and there from a few companies, and it's like it's not in their best interest to sell products out Jamaica. So like that's one of the hardest things for a surfer. In like growing up here, you have to go and work with these companies and get your product from abroad and that kind of thing, or they have to ship it to Jamaica, or, you know. But it's like there's a whole thing where there's no surf industry because there's not much surfers, and then there is no interest from like sponsors and that kind of thing unless we travel and like put on certain events. And even then, it's like, as I say, it's like surfing in Jamaica is a novelty that it will always have value in the world. So it doesn't lose its value. So we'll always have people who want to work with us, but it's just a small community right now, you know. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
How many groms are coming up? Like little kids surfing? A lot or just very few? What's the crowd?
So like right now, I have nephews and nieces, and they surf every now and again, you know. But
Mhm.
I'd say the next generation of surfers, they're probably like 12 or 13 right now, but there's not a lot. Like there's not even 20 people, you know. When you think of grams who are ripping, it's like really a few. You have a girl right now who she just went to represent Jamaica. 2 girls who just started surfing. You know, one of them been surfing longer than the other, but they've went out to the ISA World Games and
Yep.
they represented us and thing, you know. So they're stoked on that, and they've been getting good pretty quick, and they're still young enough where, you know, they can make something of it. But it's like the surfing in Jamaica, it kind of works off of like an energy of what's going on and who's involved, because like the community is so small that if a few people lose interest in something, then it just stops growing, you know.
Yeah.
And people, it's easy to lose interest in something when it has like a lack of opportunities. So you'd have a lot of kids come up and surf and they'd stop surfing, or they'd get older and they have to take on a normal job and they can't get the access to a surfboard or,
Oh, wow.
So it's like because we don't have no stores out here or any shapers or, anything like that where you can go and buy a board. You have to ship them in and then they tax it pretty harsh.
Yeah.
So you have to pay almost double on your purchase. So it's like it's better to just fly out the country, get some boards, fly back in,
Okay.
So if that doesn't change, then you're not going to have
growth.
That much growth,
Yeah. So. Okay. That's okay. So I've seen your videos. That's what like attracted me to you and your style of surfing. You have like flowy, good style. I love how you surf, and the waves even on longboard, you ride everything. You ride all kinds of equipment. That's rad.
Yeah. Man.
And I see the waves you're surfing. They look super fun, like really fun. It's surprising. Bro. Do you think it's just like all the things you stated that, you just have no infrastructure? It's not available to all the kids, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So it's like my dad, he started and with like the guys in his generation, surfers, they started the Surf Association and they've done a lot of work towards like making surfing in Jamaica a reality. And I grew up seeing that. So like everybody who was in my generation, we had access to surfing through the work that they did at the time,
Yeah.
But as those guys get older, it's like the torch has to be passed. And right now, my brother, one of my older brothers, he just, started running the association. I'm not too sure on if he's the president, but I'm pretty sure because I wasn't around. I had my child like a few months ago, so I was like all caught up in that for the past like year now. So. I've been kind of starting to go back into the flow of things, and I've seen him start to like my father pretty much passed the flame to him, and he's taking on certain jobs because I've seen how my dad got tired towards the end, and like he's done so much for surfing, and if someone doesn't come and take that, and as I say, it's like a very small group of people, so somebody needs to take it or there's not going to be much happening. So we went through a stage where there wasn't much happening,
Okay.
So now there's a new development where they're trying to, do certain work. Because we do like summer camps where we invite kids out. And I remember maybe like right before COVID, we had a camp and it was like 40 kids.
Wow.
For like 2 weeks. So, a lot of kids got exposed to surfing. But out those 40 kids, like we can't give each one a surfboard or like offer them to buy a surfboard. Because we don't even have 40 surfboards to sell them like that, or even just give away. So. People like the Godowskis brothers came down as well, and they've really helped out that, that same problem, but it's like a temporary fix to a long-term issue where they came down with a bunch of boards and everybody got boards and surfing was an option for years because of what they did, because they came down and they brought on like 200 surfboards or something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a trailer load of surfboards, so that really changed the culture for years, so that's been like almost 5, 6, 7 years ago, almost a decade now. So like there hasn't been much that's been happening since then. And we haven't been able to do much for ourselves when it comes to that situation, we try to run contests, we try to do like coaching programs, send the teams abroad and all of that stuff, It's just been like a battle, where hopefully things start going up from here. As I said, the button's been passed.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm hearing is, what about surf tourism? Is there such a thing? Do you guys have any infrastructure, any surf camps or anything to invite people like me to go to Jamaica and surf?
Yeah. So my family, we've survived off of pretty much just doing that. And,
perfect.
My father, at the time when he was starting the surf camp, him and my mom, they started, the surf association, him and my mom started the surf camp that I grew up in. So that's called Jamnesia. Right. And we've had pretty loyal customers who come back each year and they bring family and other friends and friends tell friends. And, we've developed different relationships with all sorts of people all over the world. So it's not that surfing tourism isn't a thing, because like we've been pretty successful to the point where I could grow up with a roof over my head and like water in the pipes and electricity and, money to go to school and buy some food. And like, I wasn't in need of anything. And like, even if I wanted something and couldn't get it,
Yeah.
it's like I didn't need anything. Like, I have all my needs checked. So, and that was just off surf tourism, basically, which
Cool.
branched off into just like regular tourism. But, it's possible.
But that opportunity is not there for the everyday kid, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's like my father, he tried to do that because he realized that the surrounding community, he could help them in that way, where I based like all the kids who grew up in my generation. So you've probably seen Shama the Superman on Instagram as well. He's like my best friend. We grew up together, like just a walk down the road from each other, but he got pretty much the same opportunities I got growing up, because like we grew up as brothers, and all our friends who were involved in surfing at the time, we got the same opportunities that my father really tried his hardest to make that possible. And that's how we ended up making careers out of it, So
that's right.
Shama right now, he's surfing for Hurley and I'm surfing for Rourke. And my brother Ivah, he's gone and pursued a professional career in contest surfing as well. He's been sponsored by Billabong and Body Glove and, all sorts of things. So
cool.
We've been the only surfers to do that thus far in the Jamaican surf culture. So we're like first generation professional surfers in a sense, for the island.
That's so rad. It's like a double-edged sword. Like if you start inviting a lot of people and the waves are super good, then it becomes packed. Mm-hmm. The attitude changes in surfers. Like in my world, you're living the perfect dream.
Yeah, that's how it seems from the outside all the time.
Right.
And when I go outside too, that's how it looks when I'm like in Cali or I go to some different country where surfing is like, it has some infrastructure set up. It's like, I kind of miss home, you know what I mean? And then I come home and then I'm like, wow, I wish we had what they had. So
yeah, I see that.
Definitely double-edged sword for you.
Wow. Very interesting. I mean, it's just a completely different world. But the kids are what's going to keep it alive. It's your kid. What's your child's name? How old's your child?
His name is Wave Anthony, and he's like 2 months old.
Oh, wow. That's why you're losing sleep, huh?
Yeah. But, I don't mind.
No, I'm sure you don't. That's awesome. So he will be the one, he will be the future of Jamaican surfing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, are you going to like have him surf early, but
I mean, we live at the beach, so like,
that's true too.
Yeah, he's going to want to. Because I wanted to as a kid too, like I grew up here on the beach just the same as he's probably going to, so
do you think
he's going to be interested?
Yeah. How do you think your life would have been if you didn't know surfing? Or can you not even relate to that question because you just know it?
I guess surfing kind of made me think more creative about life in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It made me see that like you had different options. I think that my perspective would have been more like streamlined towards something that you could normally expect, like a job or, go through college or, you have all sorts of different lanes that you can choose to live your life and like which road you want to go down. And I feel like I'd be on a completely different road. But since I've been surfing, it's like it opened up my mind to like alternative sources of income because I want to do something that I love doing.
Yep.
And I developed a love for something very early on in my life, fortunately. So it's like I could always tell that I don't care what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. I kind of want to figure out how to make it doing this thing. So maybe I would have found something else like that. But like surfing to me isn't a bad thing because it's like it's more than a sport to me in a sense, Yeah. It's like beyond just like numbers and like ranking and contests and that type of thing.
How do other Jamaicans look at you as a surfer? Do they look at surfers in a different way?
Yeah, like it's funny because people recognize surfing because, as I said, we've done competitions and things. And one of the contests is called like the Maca Pro, and it's just like a pro contest that we keep each year. And depending on it, it's been held at 2 different spots so far. And I've done pretty well. My brother's won it. I've won it. Shama's won it before. So it's like a rite of passage almost for surfing. But sometimes we'll have like thousands of people come there, and we'll have like coverage on television and ads and, you know, all sorts of things. So just even from that, people recognize you when they see you sometime.
Wow,
so I
that's
remember
cool.
even going to school,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going home one day, and my school is like in downtown Kingston.
Okay.
My school, and I grew up around, you know, pretty rough people.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't necessarily like as rough as them, but I grew around a lot of rough kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're my friends to this day. But like, I always felt comfortable walking home from school, and the surrounding community never really intimidated me. But it was definitely not like the best community, and the people were respectful, you know. So I used to always just walk through. Well, I remember I was walking through, and then some cops came through. They're like, you know what? They're super aggressive first off. You know what? I really don't want to get into the details, but long story short, there was like searching me down and shit, and
Mm-hmm.
they start like recognizing me, and they're like, "Wait, aren't you the surfer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am the surfer," you know. And he's like, "Oh, your father is this guy, because my father used to do like a local sitcom, and he was on it for like 15, 20 years."
Okay.
You know, so people recognize me from being his son too, you know. So he was like, "Oh, you're that guy's son, because he's the surfer as well, because they know him for surfing." You know, and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "All right, you're cool, go home." But I swear it was like a scary situation just had like the best outcome, because I'm telling you, they pulled on me with guns and shit, and I was in my school uniform. I was like, why are they pulling guns and I'm in my uniform? I could understand if I was like not, but they're like, I think they thought I was a guy dressed up as a kid trying to, because you have guys do that sometimes, you know, like they'll dress up as a kid and go and rob other kids and do crime around school areas. So they're like, what are you doing outside school? I had an exam today, so I was like off school early. So they're like, what are you doing outside? Who are you? And they recognized me straight off the bat for surfing. So it kind of saved me a lot of trouble there, you know.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but they respect surfers, you know. It's always like, if you have a surfboard on your roof, you'd be surprised, bro. Like, people recognize you and they associate you with nothing negative, you know. Like, they just think you're doing the best. Or even if they're curious, it's like, yo, is that what that? You know, like they want to know what it is and how do you use it. And it's just recently that people start developing that, since, you know, like even social media and, as I said, the work that we've done to grow the sport, and, you know, people start recognizing it more. But people used to think you fishing is like a boat, or, you know, my brothers used to joke at one time too. This guy saw them with a surfboard and he was asking if it was a frisbee or something. So we used to call surfboards frisbee just for like a short period, like way back in the day.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm a frisbee, you know.
Okay.
But it's funny.
On the island of Jamaica itself, so the tourist side is kind of away from everything, right? It's not near Kingston or anything. It's
it's not really. Kingston is more business. New Kingston is all businesses. Downtown Kingston is more like manufacturing, like that kind of thing, you know, bakeries and like tapestry and all that thing.
Okay.
And, you know, people live in the surrounding area, but, you know, uptown is like banks and that type of thing. Like, not uptown, but like downtown, New Kingston is banks. Downtown is like factories.
Okay.
And, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah.
Do you think that the other islands, Barbados gets a lot of coverage, and some of the other Caribbean islands, do they take away from maybe potentially other people exploring Jamaica as a destination? Do you think the waves are better there or the same?
I'd say like Barbados have pretty good waves. Trinidad, I wouldn't say Trinidad has better waves than Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to both islands, and Barbados definitely, like, Soup Bowl is as good as anywhere in the world. There's a spot in Trinidad though that was really, in Tobago, that was really good. It's like off Trinidad, the smaller island.
Okay.
But so there's waves, but I would say it's just as good as Jamaica on its best day, you know?
Yeah.
So,
do you think, is the surf culture stronger in those islands, or no? About the same as you? Do you know? Do you even know?
I mean, with Trinidad, it's not that much surf over there. Like, the culture is very similar to Jamaica in that sense, where it's like a small community. In Barbados, they have a really advanced surf culture. like very close to what you could find in the surf world. I'm sure they have like shops and thing. And I know of a shaper that's also come from Barbados. And there's the ASP or the World Tour WSL contest. They have like one of those contests down there, and so they have a lot going for them. They're probably the most developed in the Caribbean right now, if I would take a guess.
Okay.
But I don't think it takes away from people exploring Jamaica. I think other things maybe make people, like, as I said, like, if you do come to Jamaica for tourism, you're not going to see surfing.
Right.
And then if you do go to the areas where waves are and you look up online, like, oh, Kingston, Jamaica, you might find like the wrong type of news, because there's violence and that type of thing, but it's not just random. It's always some people involved in something, and then that goes out to the world, and people just kind of stereotype like Kingston as like this violent place. But obviously anywhere you go in the world and you go down the wrong lane, you get caught up in some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's lots of factors to it that make Jamaica like less of a destination for surfers.
If I let's say I go to Jamaica and want to surf,
we have our camp. If you look for Jamnesia Surf Camp, we're probably the only surf people associate us with like Jamaican surfing at this point.
But if I was to go as a tourism, what am I looking at surfing wise? If I was to go explore personally just by myself and I didn't know you, Ivah, or your family, what am I looking at? Is localism a real thing? Are the local surfers, like not yourself personally, but other surfers? How do they treat outsiders?
It's not really a thing, because, that comes with time, I think, and like development, as we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Where the more it develops, is like you might get annoyed after a while of people, but we haven't grown annoyed because we don't, you know what I mean? It's like, it hasn't been that much people.
So you're
like,
looking
for another guy, like, we don't care.
You're looking forward to someone to surf with, and it's all about having fun.
Yeah, a lot of the times we'll go surf in the morning. You call your friends to go surf.
Yeah. That's right.
A lot, you have to go, or you see we have a surf group right now.
Okay.
And everybody just send updates to each other, and the surf group is like a chat, whereas like we have a lot of people in the chat. It's pretty much everybody who surfs right now in Jamaica. So, when you go in surfing, some people say, oh, how's this spot? And then, you go there and you chat and you hang out and you surf, and, that's kind of the culture right now.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about your style a little bit. Who are your influences? Where did you come up with the style you have? And once again, you ride all kind of equipment. You ride fishes. Yeah. You ride you're a good longboarder too. You're like an excellent longboarder.
Yeah, I try, I've been learning longboarding more recently, But style influences, I'd say there was a shift in my style, definitely. I can never always surf the way I do now. That's been like an evolution type thing, And my older brother, Ainilek, he's the guy who's kind of running the Surf Association right now, from what I see.
Okay.
And to me, growing up, he had one of the best styles. And I would compare his style to like the Rob Machado era, where it's like a short board would be like a 6'1". So he grew up surfing longer boards. And my brother Ika too, he surfs better. So if I would compare the two, it would be like Ika would be Kalani Rob, and he's the guy who did content more. And then Ainilek would be like Rob Machado, So
two of the most stylish guys.
Yes, there's like one more explosive in a sense, and then the other one more like flow oriented.
Yes.
But that's who I grew up watching, because we didn't have surf videos or like exposure. And even if we did get a surf video, you just watch it over and over. Like I remember we got Loose Change. And like VHS or something, and we just run that video every day. And any video that we could get our hands on, we just run that over and over. But we didn't get magazines. We didn't know about like surf competitions and, who is the guy right now. It's just what you see from like a Taylor Steele video or something, So
wow.
Most of my exposure to surfing was just my brothers and people on the island.
Wow.
I used to just focus on surfing like good and just like do good, what would score well in a contest. But there was a shift when like I lost interest for competition because I realized like judges, it's kind of just a preference at some point. When two guys surfing so good, what separates them is like the difference in approach, maybe, or and I started realizing, I don't have to approach the wave any specific way. I can approach it in any way, and that took me on a journey to just going into different shapes. And I found a twin fin at the time that was like working really good. And it just opened my eyes to like, oh, maybe I should try different types of boards. And I got a single fin, and it just started branching off. I started leaning more towards my brother Ainilek, which has like more of a Rob Machado-esque kind of flow to it, where that style, it translated better to the different boards in my eyes, because you can't try to surf like too hard on a single fin. You have to almost adjust your style to the boards that you're riding. Like with a longboard, you slow down more, a more narrow stance, and all that stuff goes into it. But it's the same thing when you're surfing a twin fin, a single fin. You have a style that you can adapt that kind of works well for all of them.
Yeah.
And see it with Rob Machado, where it's like the flow-oriented style. So that's kind of where I guess my style changed into what it is today.
Yeah. So when you were saying you were a kid and you had Loose Change as a movie to watch, what did you think of, like, let's say Americans or Australians, or I mean even like the Brazilian kids probably that had more access to surfing? Were you bummed at that, or were you like, you were cool, happy how things were?
I mean, at the time when we were watching it, surfing was more like you do it because it's fun, not because you have a reason to.
You have a love for it.
Yeah, it's like you have to really have a love for it. Like, we're not surfing as a way out of a situation. Like, really just because like it's a thing to do and we have access to it at the time. Like, we had boards around, even though they're older boards and like longer boards, like whatever the case is, you had access to it. So we'd go and surf, and then we'd come back and watch a video, and we'd just be stoked on seeing it. Seeing a guy do it, and like, oh, that's possible. Or you see a guy in a barrel, and you'd be like, oh, I wish we could find a spot like that or a day. I wish I could go out or I wish I could surf that spot. But it was inspiring more than anything. Like just to see and what they're capable of, and what was out there in the world.
But you weren't exposed to it, so I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I just can't even wrap my head around how different my life was from yours. Completely different. I'm kind of envious that you had such a, I would almost say sheltered. Like, I don't know if that's the right word or not.
We had that video too.
You have one video.
The sheltered video.
Oh, you had Sheltered, the movie?
Yeah. We ran that one hot too.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Like, where I grew up, it was just like, I mean, my friends surfed. We all surfed. And we just had a good time. I still surf today, and it's crazy. But you, on the other hand, it wasn't a thing really for the general population.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's
Definitely
right.
was.
Do you think because you guys live on an island, I don't know. I guess you've already answered all those questions. Like, it just, without growth, without industry, it's not going to grow, really.
Yeah.
You need boards. You need someone to shape. You need
that's why
infrastructure.
I wanted to start. So that's been something I've been like interested in recently.
Okay.
To figure out shape boards and things, because that could like get rid of that problem. Because I travel often and I can bring blanks with me back, so I could always just bring some blanks and do something. But it takes practice. I shaped my first board the other day with Tyler Warren.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm doing an edit on it right now. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through like the edit. So I just want to get more days on it. But as I said, since I had my kid, I haven't really been like home or surfing as much. But now I'm back at home and I'm like resettling the kids home and everything's going back to normal. I can try and like focus on that. So hopefully I can get that edit out. But yeah, I've been focusing on like shaping and figuring out how to shape. And, I'm working on a template right now where I want to try and like be able to replicate it, and then from there I'll see where it can go. But yeah, it's kind of exciting journey to head off on. It's been really fun.
Who are you getting your boards from now? And when you go overseas, are you picking up boards, or are you getting them shipped to you?
Yeah, funny enough, I get boards. Like, I haven't really paid for boards my whole life. I've been fortunate enough.
Very fortunate.
People who they'll hand me down and that kind of thing. So, like, I've gotten boards here and there, definitely. Like, I remember I've had boards for years. Like, every board that you see me surf, I've had all of the years. Like, I get a new board every so often, but I don't really go out and buy boards, and I'm not working with a shaper. But the shaper who's been the most generous is this guy Donald Brink, and he makes lots of like alternative shapes, and he makes pretty good boards. But he recently made me an ASIM. I was in Cali last year, November, I think. But yeah,
okay.
So that's the last time I got a board where he gave me an ASIM, and I shaped the board with Tyler Warren, and he glassed it for me. Like the same Donald Brink guy glassed it for me.
Oh, cool.
So he's given me like maybe 4 or 5 boards over the years. I still have those. Tyler Warren gave me. I got a fish from Tyler Warren through a friend. A friend made it. He made it for a friend, and then friend gave it to me because it wasn't working, and But that's how I've been getting boards, bro. Just like the grace of God, and by chance,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad you're getting good boards. How's the ASIM work? Does it work good for you? Do you like it?
Yeah, it works pretty good. I was going to post a clip from it on my Instagram just like today, but I haven't really gotten around to it. But yeah, it works pretty good. It's like he made a board for me before, like the first board where I was telling you, I got this that it kind of changed my whole like perspective on surfing. It was a board from the same Brink guy, this pink board, where it was a twin fin, but the template wasn't like a retro or like a traditional twin fin. It was like very high performance in a way. But that board, he made the ASIM off that board. So like one of the board is shaped as close because he didn't have a template. I think he just shaped that one as an experiment board with one of his friends, and that's how I got the original one. But he tried to recreate it, and he went half fish, then half like round.
Cool, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so it's been cool because like that same pink one, I still have that board, and it's still rideable. I can go, but I feel like it might break, and I want to like cut a template from it before.
Oh yeah.
So I've been preserving it, but yeah, it feels like I got that board back when he gave me that ASIM, like almost like a renewal on that board, so it's pretty cool.
So Rourke sponsors you, and are they sending you around the world surfing? How does that work out? Like,
so before COVID, we really had it going on, like we had a whole thing figured out, where I would travel with them, and like they would help me to get to places too if I need to travel.
Yeah.
So we had it down to a science where we're doing 3 trips a year, sometimes more. Wow. And they would do different shoots that, they would base their season on different places in the world. So one of them, when I got with them, they did a Jamaica trip, and that's where I met them from.
Cool.
They're pretty sick. You could like measure the brand pretty well. So they got me on board, and since then they've been flying me out to different places. So we went to Mexico the other day and they had me down there for maybe like a week or 2, and the waves are pretty good, and we did the whole thing. So it's like, that's been the experience with them so far, where we'll go out, do a season, come back, the season would launch, they'd plan the next one, and we just keep it rolling.
Cool.
And then every often they would have me like come out and like a pop-up, where they would pop up a booth and do something somewhere, or they're launching some clothes in a shop, or they're doing an event and they want somebody to be there, and they'd fly me out to do those as well, and I'd help to just like lift shit and like set up the tent, and if people want somebody to talk to, I'd get the mic and speak to people, and just be like an ambassador for the company.
Yeah.
They've been pretty kind.
And exposure. So you're talking about your Instagram several times. Do you
Yeah.
like social media, and do you like getting the exposure?
Yeah, well, social media is just like a window that people can see. Everybody can see through your profile and like look through that window. And if you never knew about something, you might figure it out through
Mhm.
social media. And nowadays, those like connections like between islands and worlds is like it's the barrier is getting smaller and smaller. Where you can find out what's going on in Jamaica if you really wanted to, and I can find out what's going on abroad if I really wanted to. And that's becoming easier and easier every day. And social media to me, I don't really like give in to the whole like social media game. I just post what I want to post, and like if people want to see what's going on, I just kind of provide them with the opportunity to do that, because I'm sure people are curious, like, oh, what's going on in Jamaica?
Yeah.
What's going on for the surfing down there, and they might think, oh, Ivah surfs, he's from Jamaica. And they go on my page, and it's like up to me now to like show them that, because that's basically what I am and the life I live. And I want to document that more and like make it available to people, not necessarily just on like Facebook or Instagram, but just have the videos out there, like send them out to even Rourke, who sponsor me, and say, hey, can you guys help me get this on Starbar or something? So that's why I've been working on these edits recently. It's just been slowed down a bit, but I want to get back on the wagon and kind of just, work on these projects. And, I feel like there's a community of people who wouldn't mind seeing that stuff, just the different stories and the history and, the community and thing. It's like everybody loves Jamaica, and they're always curious what's going on. And it's up to the Jamaicans to really tell the story, because people always try to tell it for us, but we can tell the story in different ways, and there's endless stories here, so.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just like a platform. It's just a platform for now. So it doesn't really matter where I'm doing it. I just want to like make it available to people,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Do you think that the Jamaican story is told correctly through other people, or do you think it needs to be told by the real Jamaicans like you?
I think it's told correctly through other people, but everybody's telling their own story in a sense.
That's true.
They try. Everybody has a different perspective on things. Like when you live it and you hear every day, it's different, And everybody, as I say, is like you come into Jamaica and you trying to shoot something. Even how people treat you is different than someone here trying to shoot something. It's like you get a different energy out of people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you get treated poorly. Like Jamaicans have benefited greatly from people coming here and trying to tell stories and like highlight what we're doing, because a lot of the time we can't do it for ourselves. It's like we don't have the means. We don't have a camera, and we don't have a platform and a director and someone to do all these jobs. We just have people who are inspired and talented, and those are the stories that can be told. And surfing is just another talent that, like anything you get Jamaicans to do, I feel like they'll be good at it. So surfing is just another thing where you get us to do it, and we start getting good at it, even if it's just 50 people doing it.
That's awesome.
With, like 3 or 4 pro surfers out of 20 guys who are doing it in their little group, So
yeah,
it's like it's pretty successful. That would be like if 30% of people out gets into something and becomes professional, or it's like Jamaica have room for talent, but we have no opportunities. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
So that is like the biggest thing. But I mean, I haven't made it stop me, and the people around me have been pretty fortunate as well with surfing. But as I say, it's like not the easiest situation to be in necessarily.
Yeah. So you like the exposure, and I like how I love your Instagram personally. And you told like you were on the beach, I think yesterday or the day before, with your child and your lady.
Yeah.
You guys are just kind of hanging at the beach. Like that's your lifestyle. That's what it seems like to
exactly.
me. I love that. And that makes me jealous, because I want that. I want to live like you're living. You're living the dream.
Sometimes we take it for granted too,
That's true.
Because like living out here, man, like I always tell people when I travel that they appreciate Jamaica more than even Jamaicans. And then when Jamaicans leave, we miss Jamaica. So you'll know a Jamaican when you see him, when he's abroad.
Okay.
Like he'll have something on, or he'll do something that is just inherently Jamaican. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you try to carry that personality with you. You try to wear it on your car. You have a Jamaica sticker, or you wear a Jamaica handband, or some red, gold, and green, or black, green, and gold, or it's like you carry Jamaica with you when you're abroad. And when people come to Jamaica, they appreciate it a lot. But it's like with even the Rasta situation, people love Rasta, and Jamaicans used to hate Rasta people. You know what I
Really?
mean? Yes, it's like that is the energy of the place and how the world perceive us and how we perceive ourselves.
Of course.
It's just recently Rasta people start gaining some love and attention certain way. But go back 40 years, it was like, they want to beat you for being a Rasta, they outcast you, you get stigmatized, your parents cast you out, you know what I mean? So it's not everything is not transparent like that, but as I said, Jamaican people is loved by the world more than we love ourselves sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Would you consider yourself a Rastafarian?
I grew up Rastafarian, so
Okay.
a lot of the beliefs and like how I understand the world would be through the lens of Rastafari,
Yeah. So can you explain a little bit to us? Just a short, it take too long?
No, it wouldn't take too long. Really and truly, it's like I never really had a choice in the matter when it comes to like if I was gonna be Rasta or not. My father chose that for himself, and then he had kids, and he chose to raise his kids under these beliefs because he felt they were valuable. Like it's good morals to have in life. So that's how I grew up. So it's like even just seeing people and trying not to, like you wouldn't like there's value in seeing someone eye to eye.
Yeah.
And I think that is really what I grew up seeing. Like I have a strong sense of justice for that reason. Like I don't want to feel like I'm more than a person. I don't want that person to feel like they're more than me. Like even if you went out and you achieved something in life, at the end of the day, it's like we both get hungry, we both get tired.
Yep.
You would want help in a situation just as much as I would.
Yep.
So it's like when you can connect with a person like that, then and you realize like it's beyond these like social constructs and all these things, and you can just look at a person for who they are and what they contribute, whether it's like to your emotions or to your physical. But it's like it gave me a whole different perspective on people and how people treat you too. Because as I say, it was a very stigmatized thing where people associate you with a lot of like negativity for being a Rasta, or they treat you negatively for being a Rasta. And I grew up being judged, so it's like that in itself. It just opened up a window for me to not judge people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And my parents already grew me that way. So honestly, when people was judging me, I was like, what is this happening? I don't really understand. Because I didn't grow up that way. Everybody who come around us, you could be disabled, you could be blind, you could be deaf. My mom, she works with all sorts of people. That's her job. She's like a social worker. So we've seen all sorts of people. And we treat all of them the same. Like, even if you can't walk, we're not going to treat you different than a person who can walk. So, when I go to them, people treat me different, then it was just like a shocker. It's like a whole thing where I had to deal with that growing up in a sense. You know what I mean? So, like, being Rasta is like, it really shaped who I am and how understanding. Like, you try to be understanding, you don't judge a person too much. You know what I mean? You really try for have a level of love and compassion for nature as well and the things around you. And it's like the mark that you leave on the world, whether it's positive or negative, it's like you have an awareness, and it helps to give you like a level of consciousness too about like how you treat people and how you'd like to be treated, or all them things. Is like you have to be when you hear Rasta people say you have to be conscious, it's like a lot of the time people live life in like an unconscious state where you just go through cycles and you're just doing the same stuff over and over.
You're caught up in life.
And you don't really take time to just step back and see things from a different perspective and just be conscious and say, I really appreciate what I have right now, and like the sun is shining and the weather nice and the food, I have food, I have family, I have love. People, it's like you get in a level of and you get to an unconscious state when you stop appreciating those things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, that's kind of what,
Those are good words, actually.
you know?
Those are good words. Like, everyone's got to take a step back. What you're saying, you're right. Forget the bullshit, really.
You know, it's just like, take time to see the world for what it is, and like the simpler things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Well,
you're in traveling and you're going to the mainland. It's a different culture 100% from what you grew up with, but you go into other islands. Like, let's just say Hawaii comes to mind. Do you think that people that are like on the islanders like yourself and like Hawaii, you guys kind of have, that sounds like a lot like aloha kind of? Like,
I feel like we connect with each other, man.
That's all right.
Hawaiians love Jamaicans too. You know? Jamaicans love Hawaiians.
It sounds kind of the same culture-ish.
Yeah.
Do you
Funny enough it is, man, and it's like, it's a culture that, like, we had a similar history of, like, when something is so beautiful that people want to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, we have a similar story there with Hawaii and Jamaica, you know, because people take a lot from Jamaica, and Jamaica give a lot to the world. And like, it's the same with Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, very similar.
Interesting. That's very interesting. What about some of the other islands near you? And do they have the same thought as you do, as a general population? I mean, do they approach the world like you do? Or you can't speak for that?
Honestly, like with Jamaica and how the streets stay, because it's like, right now, the world, like when you think about the country and how it will be, it really depends on the youth between ages like 15 and 30. You know what I mean? That 15 year, it's like they're going to do the damage or they're going to do the good. You know?
That's true.
So I see how, like in Jamaica, you have a large percentage of people who think similarly to I do, but a lot of the time is because you spend time around the older generation. Because the older generation of people, like my father's generation and older, you know, and not just but like that, maybe 30 years within where he is, up and down, like 15 and 15 up, 15 down. Like all those people in that generation is like Bob Marley people influence that, you know, music or reggae. You know, my dad used to do music too, and all of the music and the message and everything and the dynamics of, you know, where everything was at the time. Yeah. It's like people who grew up around that influence right now, it's not like there's a lot of them, but there is a good amount where people want to see the right thing happen. Whether you grew up Rasta or not, it's just the energy that was at that time, like what people say and know Jamaica for when they say one love and all of them things. It's like if you grew up with some influence of that, it's like you want to see things better, you know. But then you see the guys who really living in the street and in certain situations, they necessarily care. They don't necessarily care. They're in that unconscious state where you're just seeing the worst every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, even if you see a little bit better, it's not like it's so much better that your life is changed forever. It's just like, I want highlight. You get the money here, you can buy some liquor, you can spend time with your friends, you can put food in the kitchen, and then you're hungry again by the next month. And it's like, you have to find a way how to do it. And a lot of the time, it's like people struggle out here, and really and truly right now, I can only speak for Jamaica. Yeah. But I see how a lot of people struggle in Jamaica, you know? And that is like, you get this feeling of like anything, you feel grateful for anything at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like people associate Jamaican people with so much positivity, because literally anything you get, you're happy for it. Yes. You know? Yes. Because like you're not used to that much. So it's like, give me a burger and a fries, I'm good to them, I'm happy. You know, like, and America is like, you see how different it is. Like people don't appreciate that. So it's like whether or not you have to scam a person, forget the money for buy a burger and a fries, or you have to go sell some weed, or you have to go, you know, get a gun and do some crime. Like whatever the case is, you have to do. You just want the burger and the fries at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that is what people really like. That is the dynamic of the youth in Jamaica, and like where everybody's mindset is. Like whether you're going to work hard and try to go through a job and you realize that the minimum wage is shit and you can't really work your way up the ladder like you would in a first world country, and you see how you have to struggle, and then it's like that is one reality where you want change to happen, man. But I can see a lot of people want change, like too much corruption, and it's becoming more obvious for Jamaica. I don't know about other countries, as I say, in the Caribbean, but I know that Jamaica has definitely influenced other countries with the music and the culture and
of course
all of that. Like I go to Trinidad and I see Jamaican influence. I go to Barbados and I see Jamaican influence. And funny enough, I come to Jamaica and I don't really see that much influence more than, at least that's a lie. I come to Jamaica. That's a lie. I come to Jamaica. They have food over here. You have Trini food and, Bajan things too, I'm sure, but less Barbados still. Trinidad, I guess, Trinidad and Jamaica link like that, but.
Okay. Yeah. Let's change gears here. Do you, besides surfing, do you have any other hobbies or anything else you like to do?
Surfing is my first hobby.
Yep.
And then I got into skateboarding, which I still do, not as much now, because I want to get back into surfing. I don't want to get injured, so I'm kind of staying away from it. But I definitely have a love for skating. I have a love for skating, like a genuine love for it. So I still love doing that whenever I get the chance. And then music is also a thing that I've gotten into within like the past. Cause my dad does music and I grew up around music and used to tour back in the day and that kind of thing. If people want to look up his music, his band is called Mystic Revealers.
Mystic Revealers.
Yeah, he still does music.
Okay.
So he released an album like recently too. But like I grew up around him and like a lot of the nowadays think the musicians for reggae like Chronix and Protege and all of them used to perform just at the same surf camp that Jamnesia used to do a live show. And
wow.
A lot of young artists come up and go through there who was pursuing that same message behind the Rasta, the reggae revival era of Jamaica. There it was. So I grew up around music. So I started doing music recently. I've always done art too. So I always draw and come up with different ideas and like do more creative things. And I say I want to get into shaping too.
Yeah.
I used to do like technical drawing and like engineering and thing in school. So I always wanted to like design fins and design shapes and boards and like get into the more technical side of surfing like that. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, so I keep up on drawing and I keep up on like creating different ideas. And then the music kind of just ties into the edits. So I always make different songs so I can put music on my edits and things. And, it's like just kind of full circle where skating is more the lifestyle because like, I have a lot of friends who I skate with as well. And,
okay.
Like some of my good friends to this day, like me and Sharma skate together a lot. And we done a lot for the skate community. Like we pretty much rallied with this guy from England, this guy William, and we got a skate park built. Like there's a lot of other people who were involved in the project as well. But
cool.
Like me, Sean, all our friends, this guy Giovanni he's living in Cayman right now. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like surfing, skating, music, art. It's like that's kind of what I do it most of my days.
You keep busy, obviously, and you have a young child.
Yeah,
How many boards do you have in your quiver?
Shoot, right now, just in the room with me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 boards.
Wow. All of them you ride still? Like daily or like, within the...
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to, but it's definitely hard. Because I've been riding the one I shaped more recently.
Okay.
So that's been the one that I've been surfing on most, but I like surfing all of them. Like I even lend them out to my brothers sometimes. The same one I was telling you, I like his style and it was like an influence. Like he likes riding one of them too, so I'll lend him that one. And like different ones I've traveled, it's like sentiment. Some of them are sentiment more than like how much I ride them anymore, honestly.
That's funny. Right on. All right. Is there anything we're missing here, Ivah?
If you really want to learn about Jamaican surfing, you can come here, or I'll try my best to like get the message out and get the image out and give you guys a look from our lens, from my eye. So I'll try do that. But yeah, I feel like we covered a lot.
We covered a lot. It was awesome.
Hopefully Jamaican surfing has a future. We're just gonna try and build on it, and hopefully you'll see more from us.
Okay.
Here, yeah.
And I'll post your Instagram handle. It's Ivah the Great. And then what's the surf camp? Your family?
Jamnesia Surf. So
say it one more time.
It's like amnesia with a J surf. So Jamnesia Surf.
Jamnesia Surf. Okay. I'm going to show notes too. I really appreciate Ivah, you showing up and doing this. Is really super fun. Actually, I learned a lot today.
Yeah, bro. No worries.
And any final words?
Why? Final words. Just glad to be here. You know, glad to get the message out. Always glad for a platform, you know.
Perfect.
You have to stay glad. So that's, I guess, my closing words. Just be happy and grateful, and you know,
cool.
Keep living life.
All right, everybody. This is Mike and Ivah the Great, and we are out of here.
100 foot out, choke food. 100 racks on a surf, dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out, choke food. 100 racks on a surf, dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You boo on my didgeridoo. They calling me dude, I'm stacking the loot. I'm ripping your chick in the coop. She grabbing a hold of my leggy. They jelly, they Gucci my weddy. The friends of Giuseppe, the chain is so heavy, she think that I'm charging the Eddie. 100 foot out, choke food. 100 racks on a surf, dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out, choke food. 100 racks on a surf, dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. Surf trap, I'm stacking that money. Cash. Shorts a red Ferrari. He starts to calling me Dundee. Diamonds are surfing McFlurry. Drip. She want me to teach her to surf. Splash. I'm pulling up, ripping the verse. I'm leaving these kooks in the hearse. They get moved 100 foot on their head. They get work. 100 foot out, choke food. 100 racks on a surf, dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. 100 foot out, choke food. 100 racks on a surf, dude. Slippery, big guns like Mark Food. Trap jumping like a kangaroo. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You calling me dude, I'm stacking the loot. I'm ripping your chick in the coop. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. You know we don't fuck with no kooks. They calling me dude, I'm stacking the loot. I'm ripping your chick in the coop.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.